Hi everybody and welcome to StageAI Plus. Today we're going to start with something really important, understanding your phone. And don't worry, we're going to keep this simple, relaxed, and easy to follow. Now I'm going to get us started and then later Toto's going to come in and finish us off, which means things will probably become dramatically more intellectual very quickly. Alright, let's jump in. First, let's talk about the two main kinds of smartphones most people use today. Generally speaking, you either have an iPhone or an Android phone. An iPhone is made by Apple, and Android phones are made by many different companies, like Samsung, Google, Motorola, and others. Now the good news is, both types of phones work very similarly. You can still make calls, send messages, take pictures, watch videos, and browse the internet on either one. So don't worry too much about which one you have. The most important thing is simply becoming comfortable using it. Now let's take a look at some of the basic parts of your phone. Most smartphones have several important buttons and features. You'll usually have a power button, volume buttons, a charging port, a camera, and of course the screen itself. The front camera is usually near the top of the phone. That's what people use for things like FaceTime, Zoom, or taking selfies. And your charging port is located at the bottom of the phone where you plug your charger in. Now don't worry about memorizing every single part right away. The goal here is simply becoming familiar with what you're looking at. Now let's talk about tapping. Tapping is one of the most basic things you'll do on a smartphone. When you tap something once, you're basically telling the phone, open this for me. So if you tap on an app, the app opens. If you tap on a message, the message opens. And if nothing happens the first time, that's completely normal. Sometimes phones simply need another gentle tap. You do not need to pound on the screen like you're trying to break into Fort Knox. Next, let's talk about swiping. Swiping simply means sliding your finger across the screen. You can swipe up, down, left, or right. When you swipe up or down, you're usually scrolling through information. When you swipe left or right, you may move between pictures, screens, or pages. And here's something important to remember. If something suddenly disappears on your phone, don't panic. You probably just swiped somewhere accidentally. And honestly, all of us still do that. Scrolling is something you'll do constantly on your phone. Scrolling simply means moving through information on the screen. So if you're reading Facebook, looking at pictures, reading the news, or browsing a website, you'll usually scroll up and down to see more. The important thing is to move slowly. You do not need to rush. And if the screen suddenly flies past what you were trying to read, congratulations, you officially scrolled a little too aggressively. Now finally, let's talk about the home screen. The home screen is basically the main starting point of your phone. Think of it like the front door to everything. This is usually where you'll see your apps like phone, messages, camera, internet, and other common tools. And if you ever feel lost on your phone, the home screen is usually the best place to return to. Now, depending on what kind of phone you have, you may be able to swipe upward from the very bottom of the screen to return home. Or your phone may have a small home button. So if you ever accidentally open something strange, don't panic. Simply try returning to the home screen and starting fresh. And honestly, that solves a surprising number of problems. Alright, I think we're off to a pretty good start. And now, I'm going to hand things over to Toto, who is standing by very patiently waiting to explain the rest of this with the confidence of a man who believes he personally invented smartphones. So Toto, take it away.
All right. Christian has now reassured everyone that their phone is not, in fact, plotting against them, although some of your notification sounds are admittedly suspicious. Now let's discuss the important part. People constantly ask, should I get an iPhone? Should I get an Android? Tremendous drama. In reality, they both do essentially the same thing. One simply costs more while convincing you it's spiritually superior. The other gives you 17,000 customization options you will absolutely never use. So here is the correct answer. If your phone works and you understand how to use it, keep it. Do not let your nephew convince you that you suddenly require 6 cameras and artificial intelligence just to text Barbara. Now, here are the buttons you actually need to care about. Phone icon, text icon, camera icon, internet icon, settings icon. These 4 or 5 things are what most people use 90% of the time. That's it. You do not need to master every setting hidden inside your phone. Frankly, some of them were designed by goblins. And another important point. If something suddenly appears on your screen saying, "Warning, your phone has been infected," no, it hasn't. That is usually a scam. Your phone does not diagnose itself like a Victorian patient. If you see something scary, do not panic. Do not start pressing random buttons. And definitely do not call the giant flashing number screaming at you. That is how people accidentally purchase 17 gift cards for a man named Steve from computer headquarters. There is no Steve. Seriously, there is no Steve. Now let us discuss updates. Yes, your phone occasionally wants updates. Yes, they are annoying. But updates are generally good. They fix security problems, they improve performance, and occasionally they move all your buttons around just to test your emotional resilience. But overall, updates help keep your phone safer. And finally, please remember this: you are not bad at technology, you are learning. And learning technology today is like trying to learn a new microwave every 6 months. So give yourself some grace. That is why we are here.
If today's lesson helped you feel even a little more confident, please share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like more free lessons, smart shopping tips, and digital safety guidance, come visit us and sign up with Susi. We're really glad you're here.